You might not believe me, but I think that Giftstorm, the deck based around Past in Flames and Gifts Ungiven, is better positioned than Ruby Storm in the current era of Modern. Let me tell you why. In front of you is Giftstorm in the year 2025, and I'm thrilled to be playing it for you today because I think it's actually better than Ruby Storm currently in Modern, and there's a lot of reasons, but I'll get to those shortly. I just want to say today's going to be a little bit of a longer deck tech. I'd recommend you sit through it because there's going to be tons of really good information. So why would you want to play Giftstorm now over Ruby Storm? I know that it seems like bait, but it's really not. I've been theorizing this for a little bit, and my honest feedback is I don't think people do enough critical thinking about the decks they play or card choices, and they often just copy paste whatever the last person went 5-0 with off of MTG Goldfish. While that's nice, I don't think it actually advances decks in the metagame, and sometimes it leads to stagnation. So today I'm going to give you a hot take that I think that Giftstorm is better. And the reason why primarily is Ormschant. It's a card that's entered Modern in the last year or so through Modern Horizons 3, and it's put a damper on combo decks because you have to solve the Ormschant problem. A lot of times people are like, okay, well, I'll Ormschant them. Sure, but now you have to pass the turn. And if they Ormschant you, you can't really interact. So I've been playing Wish for Pact of Negation, which sometimes helps, but it's not perfect. Okay? Well, in Giftstorm, you're naturally running blue, which means that you're allowed to run counter spells. So today we're playing 3 main deck copies of Spell Pierce. This makes a lot of sense to me because it also hits things like Damping Sphere or other things that would, prevent you from winning the game. We like that. It also stops creature removal on your Boros Chief of Compliance or Rail Monsoon Mage. That's pretty good too. And you might be thinking, well, why would I build my deck around just Ormschant? Well, if you're not going to care about the most popular deck in the format playing Ormschant to stop you, they also have Thraben Charm, by the way. Spell Pierce stops that. Well, you might want to think about the second most popular deck in the format, Dimir Murktide. Spell Pierce is also pretty good against that deck, stopping Fatal Push or Counterspell, among other things. So I think that running Spell Pierce in the current iteration of the format makes a lot of sense because it's good against the top 2 decks in the format. We like these. So we're going to run Consider today over something like Preordain because Consider is an instant that works with Spell Pierce. So you can leave open Spell Pierce on the first turn to stop something like a Thoughtseize, for example. And then if they don't play it, you can end step Consider. So we're building our deck with synergy in mind, not to mention the fact that Consider puts Past in Flames into the graveyard, or something like a Desperate Ritual that can later be flashed back by that Past in Flames. So this is a cohesive deck with a strategy that is synergistic, and we're trying to make everything work together. So that's the first big thing. Okay. Well, there's a couple other subtle things that we really like. If you play blue, you get to run things like Otawara Soaring City that are naturally built into your mana base that answer problems like Damping Sphere that I mentioned previously. Okay, that's not bad. We like answers built into our deck that, doesn't cost us really. So on top of that, you get to play Sink into Stupor. So now you're up to 4 answers naturally built into your mana base. Okay. We're running Flame of Anor. This isn't naturally built in, but it's still pretty good because it's never dead. If it's not good at destroying an artifact or killing a creature, it draws 2 cards. Good. Well, if you've seen my Izzet Ruby Storm videos, it also works really well with Rahl Monsoon Mage because Rahl is a wizard. Well, fun fact, Brawl Chief of Compliance is a wizard, so it's even better in Giftstorm than it is in Ruby Storm. So now you have 6 ways naturally built into your deck to answer problematic permanents. Okay, so we are really good at answering permanents, and we get to run Spell Pierce against spells. So this means that, okay, we're really good at interacting with all the top decks in the format that are trying to interact with us. I think Ruby Storm is really bad at interacting or people interacting with you. It's really good in Goldfish mode. But fun fact, when you play Giftstorm, you have a deterministic win on turn 3 if you have a Brawl Chief of Compliance or Rail Monsoon Mage plus Desperate Ritual and Pyretic Ritual into Gifts Ungiven. So Gifts Ungiven plus 3 mana floating and a wizard in play is a deterministic win because you'll search out Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose, and Past in Flames that will then create a loop where you can flash back to Past in Flames, replay all of the spells into your graveyard, and then find the main deck copy of Grapeshot. So you have this built-in win that's really nice, and you don't have to chain spells together and hope that you get there. But if you are into that sort of thing, this deck still does that with Rail Monsoon Mage, but it gets to play an even better card today than Ren's Resolve or Reckless Impulse. You get to play Stock Up, a card that's revolutionizing every format it's illegal in. And for 2 and a blue, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put 2 of them to your hand, the rest on the bottom in any order. So it allows you to naturally beat Graveyard Hate. Back in the day, 2018, 2017, this deck used to run pieces of the puzzle. Well, now you have Stock Up, which is able to find your Baral Chief of Compliance or Rail Monsoon Mage, which pieces of the puzzle couldn't do. So now this deck is even more consistent. It has a tool built into it that can beat Graveyard Hate. And speaking of beating Graveyard Hate, you do have Wish in your deck. So you're able to play the Stormscale Scion from Tarkir Dragonstorm out of your sideboard to beat Graveyard Hate as well and create giant flying dragons. So that's another improvement to Giftstorm recently. So those are the big changes, at least in the main deck. And then since the last time I've played Giftstorm, Into the Floodmaw has been printed. I know that Bloomburrow was a while ago, but this card is an upgrade. So let's say that it's not a Spell Pierce matchup. It's just not something you want. You can bring in Into the Floodmaw to swap with the Spell Pierce, and then you're up to 9 main deck ways that answer permanents. And that's just honestly quite good. We also have Flusterstorm in the sideboard against blue decks like Dimir Murktide, so that way you can, in fact, just answer their counter spells more consistently. But I think that you might even want to bring Flusterstorm in against Boros Energy, because that deck brings in additional copies of Orm's Chant and then Thraben Charm. So they actually have more spell-based interaction post-board, and I think Flusterstorm is still good there as well. And if they know about Spell Pierce, they might not be playing around Flusterstorm, so it's going to be incredibly, effective. We have a copy of Gifts Ungiven in the sideboard for Wish, so that way, if you have Wish but you need a payoff, like you don't have a Stock Up or Gifts Ungiven, Wish into Gifts Ungiven can get the job done. A secondary Grape Shot in order to win with. We have Galvanic Relay in case your storm count is high but you can't win. Empty the Warrens, another way to beat Graveyard Hate. Mind Collapse is for really something like Magebane Lizard, so that way you can just sacrifice a mountain like Thundering Falls and then kill the Magebane Lizard and continue winning. We have Past in Flames in the sideboard as well, just extra redundancy, and then same thing with the Flame of Anor. So I really do believe that this is a deck that is better positioned than Ruby Storm, and hopefully I can prove that to you today. Thank you for sitting through this longer deck tech. I hope you appreciated it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, but I just want to play some Giftstorm in 2025, so I'll see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic.
Welcome to match number 1. We are on the play with Giftstorm. Let's go. So we have Rail Monsoon Mage, we have a cantrip. I think that this is a keep. I'm probably going to just lead off on the Thundering Falls, though. No need to be overly aggressive. We do have Rail Monsoon Mage on turn 2. I think I'm going to keep the spare one in case our opponent is a deck with removal off of the Surveil here. We see a Marsh Flats. This could be a Ketramos deck. We'll find out. Basic Swamp. Aether Vial. Okay. The Ketramos decks I haven't seen Aether Vial out of, so I'm not exactly sure what they're playing. We'll play the Rail Monsoon Mage and pass. Aether Vial will go to 1 counter. I am not playing a basic mountain today. A lot of Giftstorm lists do not play it. So it does look like a Ketramos deck, in fact, and they're giving me a window of opportunity here. Actually, they have a Solitude. Okay, so no window of opportunity, but I am glad that I have a spare Rail Monsoon Mage. Alright, we draw the Baral Chief of Compliance. I'll play the land, and I'll play out the Baral here. So if this Baral is going to die, I'd prefer the Baral die than the Rail Monsoon Mage, because right now, Rail Monsoon Mage looks like my payoff spell. So that is something I would like to protect. Their Aether Vial goes up. They play land number 3. They still have 3 cards in their hand. On the end step, we will fetch, and I'm going to grab the other Surveil land and keep the Consider, because the Consider could help with the Rail Monsoon Mage count. We'll get rid of Otawara. Alright, let's see if we can cobble together a win. I'll start with Consider. Our opponent's paying cost and even Interrupter. So I could sink into Stupor this, and they can't Aether Violet into play. So this might be something I'm interested in here. Let's play Desperate Ritual, and then Manamorphose. I'll make blue, another Manamorphose. So Sink into Stupor will be spell number 4 for me. I think I'm interested in using this Sink into Stupor. So I put the even Interrupter back into their hand, and now we'll consider. I don't want an island. Stock up. Okay, so if I can play stock up, and I can also play Rail here, and it should give me a couple. Ooh, that was good. We'll play the Rail Monsoon Mage, and now the stock up costs 1 mana. And one nice thing about this, by the way, is you're allowed to play stock up in Gift Storm where you're not in Ruby Storm, because it's cost reduced by Brawl, Chief of Compliance, and Rail Monsoon Mage. Ruby Storm, the Ruby Medallion doesn't reduce the cost of stock up. So Rail Monsoon Mage will trigger, we'll choose Tails, we win the flip it, and oh my god, Gift Storm looks so good right now. We'll take Wish and stock up, and our opponent just concedes. Let's go! Yes! Alright, so I don't know if this is a good Spell Pierce matchup. It's probably not. So I'll take out the Spell Pierces, and I think I would like Flame of Anor, and then maybe a couple copies of Into the Floodmaw. We'll try this. I like that Into the Floodmaw against a discard deck is additional draw. I like this hand. I mean, my only fear with this hand is if our Sink into Stupor is discarded on turn 1, and then we don't have a second land. But even if that happens, I have Misty Rainforest for Thundering Falls. They play Godless Shrine and Thoughtseize. So this was the fear, that they take the Sink into Stupor and I get stuck on mana. But I could always draw land number 2. This hand is incredibly good. They could also just take the stock up and try to keep me off a payoff spell. That would also work. They take the Rail Monsoon Mage. Not what I expected here. We'll play the Sink into Stupor as a land. Pass the turn. So I could be looking at a potential turn 3 win if they don't have creature removal. Overlord of the Baelmerk, Sanctifier and Vec, and a Boggart Trawler. So another great thing about Gift Storm, I don't need the graveyard in order to win. I can just win through a Sanctifier and Vec. I will fetch. We'll grab a Steam Vents. Ouch. And we'll play the Brawl Chief of Compliance. I'm hoping for no removal spell here. They make a black mana and they have the Fatal Push. Deafening Silence. I do have the Into the Floodmaw, but we're not in a spot where I'm ready to win. Wow, what a draw. That was incredible. Pass the turn. So we know that they still have Sanctifier and Vec in their hand. And now they have the Solitude. Wow. Alright. Draneth Magistrate. Okay. So they have a lot of combo hate. We'll play Scalding Tarn. I know their last card is Sanctifier and Vec. I think I'm going to stock up now. Grab an island. We'll play the stock up. Okay, so this might be a game where I actually win with the Stormscale Scion. We'll take the Wish and Desperate Ritual. Actually, hold on. Is that right? So I would need the Into the Floodmaw to bounce the Deafening Silence, and then I would need an answer to the Draneth Magistrate, so I think maybe I'm supposed to take the Flame of Anor? Yeah, I think I have to take the Flame of Anor. Okay. My game plan is still to win with the Stormscale Scion. They drew a land. They'll attack for 1, I go to 16. Am I crazy? I thought they brought back the Sanctifier and Vec off the... Or did they exile it to the Solitude? They did. Okay, they exiled it to the Solitude. We'll draw for turn. It's another ritual, which is honestly great. So now we'll pass. On their end step, I'll bounce the Deafening Silence. And then... No, I'll... Flame of Anor, the Draneth Magistrate, will untap into the Floodmaw and then try to win. Orcish Bowmasters, I don't care. Are we really going to win through all this disruption? That's kind of crazy. They had Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Solitude, Deafening Silence, Drannith Magistrate, and we're still going to win. Not to mention Orcish Bowmasters. Sure. Yeah, I'll take 3. It doesn't matter. So now the Overlord is a creature. We're going to Flame of Anor, and we will kill the Drannith Magistrate. Untap. Consider. Not a very good draw. So now I can into the Floodmaw on the Deafening Silence. We'll bounce that, giving them a tapped fish. And I don't know if I can cast the Stormscale Scion here, but we have to do something. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to play the Desperate Ritual. And now I can splice Desperate Ritual. Actually, I can't Stormscale Scion, but I can empty the Warrens. That's the only option I have here. So we'll Desperate Ritual, play the Wish, and 14 Goblins. We have to hope that 14 Goblins is good enough. I wish I would have drawn another spell that mattered instead of Consider. And now they're attacking with the Overlord of the Baelmerk. I think we'll chump the Overlord. They're at 13. We find a Pyretic Ritual. So if I swing out, I am not dead, because they could turn this into a 4/4, and that would be 13 damage, so I would be dead. So I have to leave at least one thing back. They can also make a Solitude, so I would be dead. So maybe the Empty the Warrens line wasn't good enough. I really didn't have another option. So if I leave 2 back, we'll try this. Now they use the Emperor Bones, they'll grab a Solitude. Yeah, I just don't think that this is good enough. So close, though. They end up at 10. Emperor of Bones exiles another card. I mean, there's a chance I win this. It's just slim. They mill with the Overlord. We'll block and take 5. Or I'm sorry, take 4. That puts me down to 9. They Marsh Flats, so now they're at 9. And they play another Overlord of the Baelmerk. This hits Recruiter of the Guard. Okay, and that's what they select. And they replay the Drannith Magistrate. Okay. We drew another land. Not very good. We'll swing out, leaving 1 back. So they can block and take 4. It's just not looking great for me here. Ooh, they're going to keep the Orcish Bowmasters. So now they're at 4. I'll play my Scalding Tarn and pass. Emperor of Bones, they exile the Wish. Interesting. They're going to swing with the Bowmasters. They must have another trick. Oh, well, they have a Solitude, apparently. So that is lethal. Okay. Yeah, I have nothing to get around that. Okay, so we lost this game. I was close, but not good enough. So Deafening Silence. I do have 6 ways to answer it between Otawara, Into the Floodmaw, and Sink into Stupor. I think I'd rather have the Flame of Anor still, so... I mean, you could take out a few Considers for more Into the Floodmaw, but I'm going to just resubmit. I think I like the list as it is. On the play. Yeah, this seems great. Love this hand. They kept their 7. We'll play Scalding Tarn and pass. Windswept Heath for basic island. I'm sorry, basic plains into Aether Vial. We'll grab Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Flame of Anor. We don't need that. Not right now, at least. They still have 6 cards. I don't mind a second copy of Rail Monsoon Mage here. Pass the turn. They put 1 counter on the Aether Vial. They play a land. And Deafening Silence. Unfortunate. We find Misty Rainforest. I think I would just like to play Stock Up here. Trigger the Rail Monsoon Mage. We'll say Tails. We win the flip. Do I want to transform? Is that crazy here? And protects my cost reducer against creature removal. I think I'm into it. Let's transform. We will take Grape Shot and I think maybe land 4. I don't know if I need the Baral. Maybe Consider's better than Grape Shot. Although Grape Shot doesn't really protect against Deafening Silence, so maybe Consider is better. And then we'll take Scalding Tarn. And then we'll plus the Rail. So the nice thing about taking the Baral would be that you can minus the Rail Leyline Prodigy, and then you'll actually get to draw a card off it. But I just don't think we really need that at the moment. Aether Vial goes to 2 counters. I'll fetch. Let's grab Island. I'm going to be a little bummed if they have Orcish Bowmasters here. but I'll play Consider. And it looks like they might have the Orcish Bowmasters. They do. Okay. Unfortunate. There was no real way around this. This was the downside to transforming. I'll get rid of the Manamorphose. Another stock up. Wish. So Wish doesn't answer Deafening Silence because I can't play 2 spells. But what I can do this turn is plus the Rail. So this will go back up to 3 loyalty. I'll play Scalding Tarn. We'll play the Rail Monsoon Mage. And then stock up for 1 mana. Trigger the Rail Monsoon Mage. They're going to fetch in response. For Godless Shrine. Even Interrupter. So my stock up will become exiled. Annoying. Sure. They still have 4 cards. Thoughtseize. They take the other stock up, and now they're using the Aether Vial. Emperor of Bones. They still have 2 cards in their hand. They play a land, so now they're down to 1 card. And another Emperor of Bones. Okay, so if I can find an answer to this Deafening Silence, we're in business. They could sacrifice the Orcish Bowmasters to kill the Rail, and that looks like what they're going to do here. So I'll block the Orcish Bowmasters. And I mean kill the Rail Leyline Prodigy, that is. On the end step, we will grab the Thundering Falls. As much as I would love a Ritual, I don't think I'm supposed to keep it when I just have to find the answer to Deafening Silence. And I should be able to play the stock up now. So we'll play the stock up, trigger the Rail, choose Tails. We win the flip. No, I don't want to transform. We did not find the answer, but I did find Gifts Ungiven, which gets me the answer next turn. So we'll take the Gifts Ungiven and Desperate Ritual. Gifts Ungiven was actually a pretty good find here. So Aether Vial goes up to 3. They have 1 unknown card in their hand. And they apparently drew a land, Shadowy Backstreet. So they can level up their Emperor Bones here. I think the actual word is adapt. So they can turn these into 4/4s if they want. They exile Orcish Bowmasters and my stock up. Okay. We'll block. Oh no, I shouldn't block the Orc Army. That would be a mistake. No blocks. Because if I block the Orc Army, they can flash in Orcish Bowmasters and turn their Orc Army into a 3/3. So that would be a big mistake on my part. I'm at 7. End step. Gifts Ungiven target you. So I can get Otawara, Sink in a Stupor, into the Floodmaw, and then 1 other card. So Sink in a Stupor, Otawara, into the Floodmaw, and Pyretic Ritual? Or is Desperate Ritual? Desperate Ritual might be better. Okay, so I need to hope to not die from my Rail Monsoon Mage. That's the question here. They gave me Otawara Ritual. Okay. And now they're going to adapt the Emperor Bones. So I will go to 6. If they had done this in combat, I would have taken 1 more and I would have been at 5. We draw Consider. I'm going to move my sideboard down here so you can see the Deafening Silence. We'll begin by... I suppose I could start by... No, I can't start by splicing. Well, I could start by splicing. I don't think it makes a difference, though, because I still end up stuck on blue mana. So we'll bounce the Deafening Silence. So if I go Manamorphose, I can then splice the Desperate Ritual. So we'll do that. I'll play Manamorphose. We need to win some Rail flips. Choose Tails. We win the flip. No. We'll make red. For all. Okay. Oh, I forgot about the Bowmasters. Okay, so that actually makes Rail... I want to flip Rail as soon as possible. We'll play Desperate Ritual. No splice. Because now I think I want to play the Brawl Chief of Compliance. We lost the flip. I really need to flip Rail as soon as possible now. Desperate Ritual. Choose Tails. We win the flip. Yes. We'll plus the Rail. Manamorphose. This will put me to 3. Because the Orcish Bowmasters. We'll play Brawl Chief of Compliance. Wish for 1 mana. And now I can play Past in Flames. So we'll play Desperate Ritual. Play Past in Flames out of the sideboard for 2 mana. Pyretic Ritual. And our opponent concedes. So much hate from our opponent, and we still won. I really do believe that Gift Storm is the way right now. Hopefully, you're starting to become a believer. Let's see if we can continue with another win in match number 2.
Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks.
For round number 2, we've won another die roll. I like that. But I don't like this hand. 6 lands and a grape shot. No thank you. Alright, so here we have 1 land and a consider. Stock up. It's probably better than a 5. We'll get rid of the Spell Pierce because I don't know what we're facing. Play Sink in a Stupor. Pass the turn. We're facing Amulet Titan, so this is not a very good hand against Amulet Titan. Alright, so we have some bargaining to do here. Monsoon Mage is a card I need to win the game, but if I keep this, I have to draw a red land on my turn if I want to win. That's the bargain. I think you're supposed to keep this and just pray to hit, because if you don't keep it, most likely you're not going to be fast enough to beat Amulet Titan that kept a 7-card hand. So we'll see what happens. If we draw the red land, I think most likely we could try to win on turn 3. So you would go Pyretic Ritual, stock up, and hope to hit more spells you can cast, like a Manamorphose, that would then allow you to play another stock up. So we'll see. They play a Boreal Grazer into Urza Saga, so they've opened up a really good hand. Come on, red land, pretty please. No. Alright, we have to pass the turn. That was the risk of keeping Monsoon Mage. So we would have drawn a Gifts Ungiven instead, which wouldn't be very good. But this gave us a real shot at a turn 3 win. They play Mycosynth Gardens. We missed. I'll play Consider. They're going to create a construct. It's just not good enough. If I show them the Manamorphose, they know what they're facing. So, like, I could concede here and let them think that I'm any blue deck. Or I could show them the Manamorphose and they'll know that I'm on Storm. I think I'm going to concede. That was unfortunate. Okay, so we're going to bring in Into the Floodmaw. I don't love Spell Pierce in this matchup. It hits exactly Amulet Titan, or I'm sorry, Amulet of Vigor, and I don't think that's good enough. I also don't love the Flame of Anor, so that can be the 4th Floodmaw. And then maybe you even want Gifts Ungiven over the Flame of Anor, just to be full-fledged combo. We'll try this. Those were not good draws or mulligans. On the play for game 2. Sure. So I need to find like a stock up or a Gifts Ungiven. We'll play Misty Rainforest, pass the turn. They have a first turn Urza Saga and Amulet of Vigor. So they're going to have double Amulet on turn 3, so they're most likely going to try to win the game. We like Gifts Ungiven here. So if I find another Desperate Ritual for my draw for the turn, we have a turn 3 win. I'll grab a Steam Vents. And we'll play Monsoon Mage. Pass the turn. Urza Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. Another Amulet of Vigor. So they're going to have triple Amulet. Oh no, am I just dead on turn 2? Is that what's happening here? Oh boy. I don't think I was supposed to hold open Into the Floodmaw. Alright, it looks like I'm not dead. Okay. That is not a spell we wanted. I wanted something that allowed me to win with the Gifts Ungiven. So I can use Gifts here to try to chain into enough spells to flip the Rail. We'll play Desperate Ritual. This triggers Monsoon Mage. No. And now we'll Gifts Ungiven target you, floating 1 red. So this is spell number 2. We have to cobble together enough spells to win this. I lost the flip. We need 4 more spells. So I'm going to choose Pyretic Ritual. Experiencing a little bit of lag here. It's not letting me click on my cards. Pyretic Ritual? Come on. I mean, it's not spinning, but it's also not letting me click my cards. Oh, there we got 1. Pyretic Ritual? There we go. Okay, Manamorphose. And Past in Flames. They're not allowed to give me Ritual Past in Flames or else I win. So, they should give me Past in Flames plus Manamorphose. That's probably what they have to do here. And that's exactly what happens. We'll play the Manamorphose. We'll say Tails. We lose the flip, so that's 3 spells. I'll make blue blue, another Into the Floodmaw. So that gives me 6 spells. I'd have to, right now, I'd have to win the flip on the 6th spell if we want to win. We'll say Tails. I lost the flip. Consider. Yes! That does it. So we'll keep the Pyretic Ritual. And now we can play the Ritual. Say Tails. No. And our opponent just concedes. I'm good with that. So they know how Gift Storm works. All right, so we win game number 2. Now we're on the draw for game 3. Same configuration. We're just going to run it back. Whew. This deck is fun. I will say that. Like, I haven't had a whole lot of fun playing Ruby Storm the last few times I've recorded it, but right now, Gift Storm feels like fun. Alright, so our opponent has kept a 7-card hand. We have a 1-lander with double Into the Floodmaw, so we can try to mess up their win a little bit, but the problem is I don't have a second land. I don't have a creature either. I do have Ritual Manamorphose, which is good, so if I were to draw, like, land creature, this hand is good, but that's a big if. And our opponent has kept 7. I think you're supposed to mulligan this, but it feels bad. We will keep, get rid of Consider. Okay, they play first turn Otawara into Amulet of Vigor. We find land number 2. So I'm in a spot where I can try to win on turn 3, assuming we're still alive. Shifting Woodland. Okay. Explore. Rural Turf. They get to make 2 mana here and then bounce another land. They bounce the Shifting Woodland. Green Sun Zenith for 1. So this could be an Arboreal Grazer. And it is. So this tells me that they probably have a turn 2 win. I'm sorry, a turn 3 win. And I don't have the Floodmaw yet, so I think we're supposed to grab Thundering Falls. I don't need another Brawl Chief of Compliance. Alright, so we can either play Brawl, hope that they don't have it, and then I can try to win on turn 3, or I hold up Consider and pray that I spike and Into the Floodmaw. Those are our 2 options. My gut tells me if they burned an Amulet of... I'm sorry, if they burned the Gruul Turf and a Green Sun Zenith, that they probably have the win next turn. But I don't think Consider praying for Floodmaw is a winning line. So I think I'm probably just dead, but I'm going to take the one that allows me to potentially win. So I'll play the Brawl Chief of Compliance and just hope that they don't have it. It's a little bit of wishful thinking, but that's where we're at. They also might have kept a hand based on, like, Endurance, and I'm just talking out loud here, but they might have a hand based on Endurance, and I have a stock-up hand, which might be able to win through an Endurance. So, we'll see. Alright, our opponent tanked for a long time and then quickly played Mirror Pool plus Urza Saga and Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I'm sorry that I muted while they were tanking, but they didn't do anything for, like, 4 minutes, so I decided to grab a drink, and then the second I did, they played all their spells. So they did not have the win. They have 1 card left, and it looks like we have a real opportunity to win here. They also played a Spelunking. My apologies. So let's try to win. We will play Desperate Ritual, and then Rail Monsoon Mage, and now we can play Stock Up for 1 mana as the second spell for Rail Monsoon Mage, which is our payoff spell at the moment. We lost the flip. That's okay. Ooh, double Stock Up. I think we take double Stock Up. Who needs the graveyard? We'll play Manamorphose, and I'm going to make double blue here. We lost the flip. Blue, blue. I have not played a land yet. We'll play Stock Up for 1 mana. So this is the 4th instant or sorcery of the turn. We'll say Tails. We win the flip. No. Manamorphose and Manamorphose. I like that. And then we'll play the other Stock Up. This is number 5. We'll say Tails, Desperate Ritual, and Gifts Ungiven. I believe we just won this match. We'll play Steam Vents. Ouch. Desperate Ritual. Say Tails. We win the flip. I believe that this is spell 7, so I will transform. And it is. So we can now... I'm going to Manamorphose first. Blue, red. Alright, I guess I probably should have done this first because I didn't need to make red if I just hit rituals. I exiled the Grape Shot, so we can play that now. I don't think I'm going to need to use the graveyard at all. We'll make 2 blue. And now I can play Gifts Ungiven for free. We'll bounce their Dryad of the Elysian Grove with the Sink into Stupor. Into the Flood Maw, bounce the Spelunking. You can have a fish, I don't care. The fish will untap due to Amulet of Vigor. I love that. Yeah, you have an untapped fish. We'll play Consider for free, spell number 12. And our opponent just concedes. I love it. Alright, so now we're 2-0 with Gift Storm, beating Amulet Titan, a premier deck of Modern. Wow. Alright, so this definitely felt like some 2018 Magic to me. I hope we get the next 3.
Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game.
The third match and a third die roll 1. Lucky us. Alright, so this hand seems fine to me. We'll keep. They take a mulligan to 6. We don't have a cost-reducing creature, but we do have a stock up, which finds one of those creatures. So right now this is looking like a potential turn 4 win. I don't know what our opponent's playing, but I do feel like this hand is good against a wide variety of strategies. We'll play our first turn, Scalding Turn, and pass. Breeding Pool. Not sure what that means right now. Hardened Scale, so an affinity deck of sorts. Okay, so I'm probably going to want to be a little bit faster, so if we can find a creature here, that's what I would like. So we'll select Thundering Falls. Spell Pierce, I could keep that, because I'm probably just playing Steam Vent's Pass, and then on turn 3 stock up, so I think I like the Spell Pierce. I mean, I wish I could have used it to mess up the Hardened Scales here, but I think it's fine. We'll play the Steam Vents, pass the turn. And we're just looking to disrupt them here with the Spell Pierce. I don't know what exactly we'll try to hit, but just something to slow them down or make them stumble. Welding Jar, sure. Hangerback Walker. So Spell Pierce not looking live this turn. So it ended up biting me in the butt by keeping this card. Alright, well this is our stock up turn. We drew another Spell Pierce. Unfortunate. That is not what I wanted. We'll play stock up. Take the Brawl, Chief of Compliance, and Manamorphose. So next turn we can try a win. Typically, and I say typically because it's not a guarantee, these sort of affinity decks don't play main deck removal. So next turn I should be able to go Brawl, Chief of Compliance, and then play Ritual, Manamorphose, Past in Flames, play all these cards again, and then stock up one more time. And if we draw a land, I could even protect my win with Spell Pierce. Vexing Bauble, okay, sure, you got it. I'm not playing anything for free. You can off of Rail Monsoon Mage, but I don't even have that right now. You got it, friend. I'll take 2. Ouch. You showed me. We drew the land. So now, if for some reason our opponent who has a Vexing Bauble in play, this is all hypothetical. I realize that it's not actually the case. But if they had a removal spell, we actually have a win that's protected. And this sort of thing is what I like about Gift Storm over Ruby Storm. Because Ruby Storm, if you play out your Rail Monsoon Mage here, there's no real way to protect it. And I just like the idea of trying to protect my win a little bit. So we'll make a couple blue mana here, draw a card. Consider, that's a card I'd like to play first, because we need to find something, and there's our win. I'll keep the Wish. Now I'll play the Past in Flames. Spell number 6. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. Let's play stock up. I'd like to keep the Desperate Ritual in the graveyard in case I end up wanting to splice. That was stinky. Wow, that was bad. We'll take Gifts Ungiven plus a land. That was really bad. Holy moly. Play the Desperate Ritual. Play Manamorphose. We'll make blue, blue. Another stock up. We'll try that. Spell number 11. I could have played the Gifts Ungiven. I realized that. We'll take Rail Monsoon Mage. Play the Manamorphose. Spell 12. Red, red. Pyretic Ritual. Spell 13. So I can now play the Rail for 2 mana, and then I can play Wish for 1 mana. I can also play Gifts Ungiven. I mean, I could have played Gifts Ungiven instead of the stock up. I just don't think it really matters if I'm being honest. So we're looking for a few more spells here. So Consider could be spell 15. Wish would be spell 16. Grape Shot would be spell 17. So that's one short. I should probably just play the Gifts Ungiven. And now we'll trigger the rail. We'll say tails. We win the flip. I'll say yes. So what's funny here is I could use the rail to deal 2 to the opponent and then draw a card because I have a Brawl Chief of Compliance. When you have a blue permanent, you get to draw a card. Something Giftstorm gets to do that Ruby Storm does not. Alright, so we win game number 1. I think I would just like Into the Floodmaws against them. I don't think Spell Pierce is going to be incredible. I do like Flame of Anor, but do I want the third in the main deck? I think leaving one in the sideboard is fine. Honestly, this deck just feels incredible to me. Like, I like the way it's sideboard mapping so far with just swapping Spell Pierce and Into the Floodmaw based on the matchup. We haven't really had a whole lot of Spell Pierce matchups so far, but I have liked it generally. And you might be wondering, Bryant, why not play Remand? I probably should have talked about that in the deck tech, but the deck tech was already 8 minutes long, and there's tons of really good information in there. But Remand is a card that has not aged well over the years, and it really started with the Horizon sets, the first one. When pitch spells entered the format, remanding your opponent's Force of Negation just felt embarrassing, because they just go, okay, well, exile another blue card, exile your Past in Flames again, or counter your Past in Flames again. That was the first step. Modern Horizons 2 brought the pitch elementals with things like Endurance, same problem. But then there's also just generic power creep, where your opponents aren't really playing 3-drops anymore, or if they are, they're not vital to the game plan. So many spells these days are so efficient on mana that spending 2 mana to remand them just feels embarrassing. So with power creep and more efficient spells, you don't really want to be playing things like Remand. Yes, I know, but you can remand your own Grape Shot. Yes, I've played Magic before. I just don't think it's a very good strategy. And instead, I'd rather play a card that actually hits the things I care about. Alright, so our opponent searched out a Grafdigger's Cage off this Ancient Stirrings. We drew a Brawl Chief of Compliance, which is wonderful, but now I need to find a payoff spell. We might be looking at a turn 3 win here. I get to Surveil off of the Misty Rainforest. We already have the answer to Grafdigger's Cage with the Into the Floodmaw. So, yeah, I mean, we just have to find a Gifts Ungiven, stock up, something. They play a basic forest and the Grafdigger's Cage. Sure, I'm going to fetch and Surveil. We'll grab Thundering Falls. I don't need another Desperate Ritual. That can go to the graveyard. Okay, so looking for that payoff spell at the moment. Sink in a Stupor, another answer card. We'll play the Brawl Chief of Compliance. Please comply. Theoretically, if I were to draw a Wish, this could actually be a game where we just wish into the Stormscale Scion. That would be fun. I have yet to actually play the card. They play a Patchwork Automaton. You got it. Another Manamorphose. So I think we should begin by just playing these and figuring out what those cards actually turn into. We'll make blue-red. Stock up, I love that. So we'll go Pyretic Ritual and play the stock up. Rail Monsoon Mage and a Desperate Ritual. So I've played 2 spells so far. Actually, no, I've played 3 spells. Pyretic Ritual will be 4. Rail Monsoon Mage is not a part of that. And then Desperate Ritual is 5. Say tails, we lose the flip. Play my land. And now I can play Manamorphose. In response, we can Sink in a Stupor to bounce the Grafdigger's Cage. Give myself an extra opportunity here. And the opponent just concedes. I'll take it. Alright. So we could have lost both those flips and drawn a dud off Manamorphose, but the opponent wasn't having it. We're now 3-0. Starting to feel pretty good. Let's go get match number 4.
You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us.
Make that 4 die rolls 1. Love that. No mana. Don't love that. We'll send it back. Ay. We'll keep bottom the Grape Shot. This could end up being a little sketchy. We'll play Scalding Tarn and pass. I have no idea what our opponent's playing. We're just going to try to, take one step at a time. Windswept Heath for a Sacred Foundry, so probably Boros Energy. Ragavan. Yikes. We'll grab Thundering Falls. We're looking for land 2 here. You know what? I'm going to keep the Rail Monsoon Mage. I know I don't have the second land, but we need it. So I will keep. And now I'm going to consider looking for that land. Get rid of the Pyretic Ritual. We find the Misty Rainforest. Alright, well that worked out. So right now we could potentially try to win next turn. It'd be a little risky. It really depends on what our opponent's up to here. They exile my Otawara Soaring City. They play Arena of Glory. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Okay, so we have a window here. They're tapped out. So I think we should try to win. We'll grab Thundering Falls. Hopefully I find a spell. For all Chief of Compliance, you have to go to the graveyard. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll see what we can make happen here. I have 4 spells for the Rail Monsoon Mage count. Sink in a Stupor. We'll play it as a land. Play the Rail Monsoon Mage. Pyretic Ritual. Trigger the Rail. Fails. We win the flip, say no. Manamorphose. Fails. I'd really like to find a stock up here. Stock up or Gifts Ungiven. We'll make blue. Another Otawara. Ah, bummer. Consider. Trigger the Rail. So I don't... The most I can cast right now... So Pyretic Ritual would be instant number 4. So I'd have to find exactly Gifts Ungiven, Past in Flames, or stock up here. I suppose Wish could do it. So I'll say Tails. Don't flip the Rail. Consider. Manamorphose gives me a chance, so we'll keep that. Play Manamorphose. Tails, I have to draw a spell here. No, I don't want to transform. We'll add blue-red. No! Ah, bummer. Okay, let's bounce the Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. I'm 1 spell short, because I played the Rail Monsoon Mage this turn, so if you're looking at the Storm count and going, no, you should play the Pyretic Ritual, you're wrong. But I can't do anything about it now. So, we were unable to flip the Rail Monsoon Mage. We did not find stock up Gifts Ungiven, Past in Flames, or... What was the other one? Gifts Ungiven, Past in Flames, stock up, or Wish. So we had a number of hits. I also could have drawn the Singleton. No, we have 2 Flame of Venor. So we had a lot of hits, actually. We just didn't hit any of them. Or any spell on the last Rail Monsoon Mage. Draw, flip, whatever. I'm just rambling at this point. They go to combat. They attack. I'll block. Goblin Bombardment. So now they can kill my Rail Monsoon Mage. But I don't even really care. Alright, so they have the Ajani as well. Okay. Now they can make another cat. Yeah, I'm dead. I missed my window. Okay. Next game. Unfortunate. So I actually like the Flusterstorms in this matchup. They stop Lightning Bolt, Orm's Chant, and Thraben Charm. So the question is, what are you cutting? And I think in this matchup, you're just not really allowed to keep Consider in the deck. So I'll bring in 2 Into the Floodmaw and 2 Flusterstorm, and we're going to try this. I had my window, we just didn't hit it. It's a unfortunate thing, but sometimes that happens in Magic. We're just going to keep our head up and try to win both post-board games. Game 2, we're on the play. Sure, we'll try it. Opponent with a mulligan to 6. I suppose Spell Pierce also hits like Deafening Silence, which we care about. Marsh Flats. Sacred Foundry. Ragavan is back. We'll fetch. Grab the Thundering Falls. Keep Pyretic Ritual. Play Island and play the Brawl Chief of Compliance, because once again, if one of these creatures has to die, you would prefer if it was Brawl Chief of Compliance. They have the Galvanic Discharge. Okay. And now they attack. They exile Wish. Okay. Past in Flames. So I could go Desperate Ritual. I could go Rail, Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose, Past in Flames, replay these 3 and try to flip. Or I can pass. And I think I'm going to pass here. So I could also play Rail past the turn, but my concern is what if they play Flage? But maybe that's just me being a coward. Alright, I'll play the Rail. End step they fetch. They grab an Elegant Parlor. Gets rid of another copy of Ragavan. They have land number 3. They fetch. 3 mana. Of course, they have the Flage. Ah, it's devastating. Yep. So I'll take another hit from Ragavan, which is making my Spell Pierce terrible. They exile Manamorphose. And they're not going to play the Manamorphose. We'll fetch. Grab Thundering Falls. Surveil away Scalding Tarn. Another Desperate Ritual. We have to pass. Tursa Light Shatter. So this is pretty good for them here. So they can discard. This is basically another Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, except it's a 3/3 haste. So they discard 2 lands. And now they're attacking for 5. I'm running out of time here. So when Tursa attacked, they exiled a card at random, and they exiled their own Flage. They exiled my Gifts Ungiven to the Ragavan. And now they have 3 treasures, so this Spell Pierce isn't even live, if they did have an Orum's Chant. And they're going to play the Flage off the Tursa. Sure. So this will put me to 6. So they have lethal next turn, most likely. So I have to try to win now. Alright, we'll see what we can make happen. Manamorphose. Blue-red. We will Manamorphose again. Blue-red. Play the Pyretic Ritual. Play the Otawara. I can splice Desperate Ritual. We're all in here on 2 copies of Manamorphose. I'll play the other Desperate Ritual. Play the Past in Flames. Now I will play Manamorphose. Blue-red. Wish. Okay, so you're saying there's a chance. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. Manamorphose. Blue-red. Land was not good. So that gets me up to 6 mana. So, or no, that gets me up to 7. So I could empty the Warrens. But I can't do anything else. So we'll play Desperate Ritual. Play Desperate Ritual. I have to empty the Warrens and hope that it's good enough here. Play Wish. Empty the Warrens for 26 goblins. Okay. This was a great league for showing why you should never empty the Warrens. I mean, I didn't win the first time we played it, but this Empty the Warrens is giving us at least a real chance at winning. 2 mana here. And they just concede. So we're off to game 3. We made a comeback. Wow. Okay. If they can not open up on turn 1 Ragavan, I would appreciate that. Alright, we will submit. They've taken a mulligan to 6, and we've opened up a no-lander, so we will be joining them. So this hand is fine, but it doesn't have a red mana, so we're going to keep it. And do you keep the Spell Pierce, or do you keep Wish? I don't know. I'll bottom the Spell Pierce. It's a risky decision, but it's what I'm going to go with. Blooded Strand. Sacred Foundry. Ocelot Pride. So no turn 1 Ragavan. I appreciate that. We find Sink in a Stupor that does not make red mana. So now they attack with the Ocelot Pride. Marsh Flats. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. They have 3 cards in their hand. Ocelot Pride. Yep. Gifts Ungiven. I am just begging here for a red mana. Come on. They search out Elegant Parlor. And now we'll take the hit. I'll go to 17. 2 mana. Oh. Ajani. Okay. So they're making a large army here. If I don't draw this red mana very soon, we're dead. Misty Rainforest. Okay. So they have 2 cards. I can... Alright, so I'm going to pass. And then I can Sink in a Stupor to buy some time. And then... Oh, like I would shock. I would grab the Steam Vents and then bounce something. 3 mana. Tursa. This seems like a good thing to Sink into Stupor. They're tapped out too, which means that they don't have anything to interact with me. We'll return this to their hand. Alright, so now I'm going to take 6 damage, I believe. I'm at 8. And this is my window to win. I can't use the graveyard. There's a Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, so we'll start with the Desperate Ritual. Alternatively, if I start with Manamorphose, I end up with more mana after. I don't know if that matters, though. So if I start with Manamorphose now, I'm just trying to talk out loud. I would make red. No, that doesn't help me. Alright, so we'll play Desperate Ritual. Play the Rail Monsoon Mage. Manamorphose. We'll say Tails. No. So 2 instant or sorceries this turn. I'm going to make red, blue. Another Desperate Ritual. That was perfect. Let's go. Storm count is 4. I'll say Tails. We lose the flip. So I can Gifts Ungiven here, and it doesn't need to be the win. It just needs to be mana and spells. So we'll Gifts Ungiven. Storm is 5, but 4 instants or sorceries. I'll say Tails. I lose the flip. So we'll do Manamorphose, Hieratic Ritual, Desperate Ritual, and then honestly, I think just a land, because we haven't played a land yet. Like, I don't care about the Soul Guide Lantern. I think we're going to try to win without it. They gave me land Pyretic Ritual, so we'll play the land. Play Pyretic Ritual. So this is spell 5 for rail count. I'll say Tails, we lose the flip. I'll play Stock Up. This is spell 6, so not any flip will transform rail. I'll say Tails. We win the flip. I'll say yes. Stock Up. We find Brawl and nothing. That was bad. I've already played my land for the turn, so this doesn't actually matter what other card I take. And now we'll ultimate the Rail Leyline Prodigy. Past in Flames doesn't work with a Soul Guide Lantern in play. But I can play... Ooh, I can destroy the Soul Guide Lantern, Gifts Ungiven for free, and then play free Past in Flames. So I think we got it. We'll destroy target artifact. I think we have it. They exile my graveyard, I don't care. Free Gifts Ungiven it. OP. Target you. We'll do Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose, Grape Shot. Yes, they concede. We're 4-0. We're one match away from a trophy. I told you, Gift Storm is better than Ruby Storm. I'm excited. I really hope we get that trophy. Stick around for match number 5.
Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm.
I don't know how to break it to you, but we did not win the die roll in match number 5. I know it's a travesty. We could have gone 5 for 5, but it did not happen. We're on the draw. I've opened up a hand with 1 land, but it's a Misty Rainforest, which means that we can search out our Thundering Falls, looking for that second land. If we don't find it, I have a Consider on our turn looking for land number 2. If we do find land number 2, I have Brawl Chief of Compliance or Rail Monsoon Mage on the second turn, depending on what our opponent's playing. Bloodstained Mire. Free Steam Vents. Okay. Preordain. Not sure what this means yet. They put 2 cards on the bottom. We found the land. We had it the whole time. Wow. So lucky. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay. And now they play a Mishra's Bauble. Gets rid of a Mutagenic Growth. So are you... Is it Prowess? Is that what this is? They look like they're lacking a second land here. We'll fetch... Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Brawl Chief of Compliance. We don't need that. We already have 2 creatures. Now they're going to use the Mishra's Bauble. So now they have Delirium, so this Channeler is a 3/3 creature. We find Sink in a Stupor. We'll play the Brawl Chief of Compliance. Well, if they don't have a removal spell, it's actually better to play Rail here, because if I want to play Rail plus Ritual next turn, I end up down on mana. The issue is I don't have a payoff. Alright, I'm just going to play the Brawl. I think that's the right move. So now they draw a card off the Bauble. They have 5 cards in their hand. We're hoping for no removal spells. They play another Dragon's Rage Channeler and Mishra's Bauble. Okay. Gets rid of a Lava Dart. And they kept the other card on top. Now they're attacking. Ouch. I go to 16. So it looks like no removal. I'm getting a window of opportunity here if I can draw Gifts Ungiven or something like that. And now they're going to use the Mishra's Bauble. So they draw a card on my upkeep. Gifts Ungiven. It was not a Gifts Ungiven. Let's play Consider. Spell Pierce, I'll get rid of that. Another Sink in a Stupor. I'll play the Otawara, and I think I'm going to pass the turn, holding open Sink in a Stupor and Flame of Anor. They have land number 2. They fetch and Preordain. Okay. Gets rid of Slick Shot, Show Off. So this is, in fact, Izzet Prowess. And now Preordain. They go to attacks. No blocks. Do you have anything before damage? No? I think I would like to Flame of Anor here. So we'll deal 5 to a creature and I'll draw. So target myself, deal 5 to the Channeler. And I drew the Gifts Ungiven. Okay, so I go to 13. Monastery Swift Spear post combat. So we have the win. Nice. We'll play Pyretic Ritual. Pyretic Ritual. Let's play Rail Monsoon Mage. Gifts Ungiven target you. Fails. We lose the flip, it doesn't matter. Manamorphose. Vesper Ritual. Past in Flames. Pyretic Ritual. And that will be our 4 cards. And our opponent concedes. We're 1 game away now. Let's go. Alright, so we probably want all of the Into the Flood Maws against the Prowess Tempo deck that's just trying to kill you. I think Flame of Anor might be kind of slow, so we'll cut that. And I don't hate Spell Pierce for protecting my creatures. So I think the other cuts will be 2 copies of Consider. We'll try this. Game number 2, we're on the draw. Our opponent has kept 7. I will keep as well. We have 2 creatures. We have a Gifts Ungiven. We have removal and Grape Shot, but I think it's removal that doesn't really count, like it's really slow. First turn, Dragon's Rage Channeler. So if they don't have turn 2 Delirium, we could Grape Shot the Channeler. We'll get rid of the Wish. They play Scalding Tarn for a Mountain, another Channeler, and a Preordain. Surveils away Bloodstained Mire and Slick Shot Show Off. So if I draw Manamorphose, I could kill both creatures. They put 2 cards on the top. I'll draw for turn. I did not draw. I don't think killing the channelers makes sense anymore. So I think I'm going to just play a Brawl here. Like, killing 1 channeler, I don't think actually does a whole lot. They play land number 3. They have 4 cards in their hand. They play the Quarry Steel Cutter, a super exciting card out of the new set. So whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you create a 1/1 monk with prowess, and then you attach this equipment to that monk, and then it gives it +1/+1 trample and haste. So this card is basically a 2-mana Monastery Mentor. It's very powerful. And here they have Lightning Bolt. So they're going to get to create that monk, and then give it prowess and haste, and trample. I mean, it just does it all. And now I'm going to take 8 damage. So I'm going to be at 10. Yeah, we're in trouble here. Another land. We'll play Otawara, play Brawl, and then Grape Shot the Monk. And I just have to hope that they're all out of gas here. They play Preordain, gets rid of another Quarry Steel Cutter, and they have Lava Dart. Does that kill me here? I think it does. So now they get to make the monk. So I go to 9. And then I have to block with the Brawl. Or else they flashback Lava Dart and I'm dead. Yeah, I think they got me. I don't think there's a way out of this. And they surveilled another Lava Dart too. So even if I draw a Ritual, it's not good enough because there's no mountain for the Scalding Tarn. Oh, and it has Trample. Okay, so I'm actually just dead. Alright, so we can go to the next one. That was not good for me. We'll try it again. For all the marbles, match 5, game 3 for the trophy. I want this trophy so badly. 5-0 with Gift Storm, that's what I want. Here we go. Game 3. Yeah, this hand's great. Keep. They also kept 7. We'll play Scalding Tarn and pass. Arid Mesa for a Steam Vents. Preordain. Okay. So no 1-drop creature this time. They put 2 cards on the bottom. We'll search out our Surveil land. Thundering Falls. Keep the Otawara. Player land, I'll fetch. I think I'm actually going to grab a Steam Vents. I feel like sometimes I get bottlenecked on red mana, and then I regret it later. We'll play the Brawl. Pass the turn. Really want this Brawl to live. We saw Lightning Bolt in game 2. I don't know what other removal they have that would kill it. Bloodstained Mire. Come on, Quarry Steel Cutter, pass. That's what I want to see here. Slick Shot, Show Off, pass. They search out a mountain. 2 red mana. Quarry Steel Cutter. Mishra's Bauble. Okay, well, you can make a monk. I suppose that's fine. And now they're going to use the Bauble. They should attack, because it says, like, hey, I have a free spell. And, like, it could be a trick to kill my Brawl. Like a Surgical Extraction or something else would make a lot of sense. Wish. Okay. So we'll play the Otawara. Let's play Pyretic Ritual. Let's play Desper Ritual. And now I'll play Stock Up. I could just go like Wish empty the Warrens, but I don't think that's good enough. If I go Wish, this is 7 total mana, so that's 1 short of Stormscale Scion. I'll just play the Stock Up. 5 mana. Double Ritual, or Ritual Manamorphose does give me the Stormscale Scion. Let's go! Pyretic Ritual. Oh man, we're actually going to get to win with Stormscale Scion? This seems unreal. We'll play Manamorphose. We'll make blue, blue. Consider. I just want to make sure I'm not ruining this. So if I play the Consider, I need 6 mana. So I have 8 mana right now. So I would lose the ability to play the Stormscale Scion. I don't think I want to risk it. We'll play Wish. This is Dragonstorm. Boom! Let's go! Let's go! Yeah, nice surgical extraction. Does it come in playable? Hi-oh! Ah, what a way to close out a league here. Yeah, I'll send in 1 point of damage. I'm the aggro deck. We have 7 10/10 flying dragons. And we win the match. We got the 5-0 trophy with Gift Storm. Wow. I said that it was better than Ruby Storm, and I meant it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will get a sideboard guide up on theepicstorm.com/shop by the time that this video is live. So, really, everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know if I have any changes. Honestly, the deck list just felt so good and I loved it. So hopefully you appreciate this video. I'm glad that my theory worked out and I just wasn't talking out of my butt, but I really do believe that Gift Storm is better than Ruby Storm right now. Thank you for watching. And as always, have a great day. Keep storming.
Hey, Bryant Cook. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. There's no better way to support our channel. If you're interested in elevating your combo game, visit theepicstorm.com/tutoring for details about our coaching sessions. Don't worry, there's more great combo content coming right up.